greasy potato chips and chocolate chip cookies, two of my favorite things in the world. And during this pandemic period, I've been eating a lot of them. So one of the things I'm hoping you can do with us today, Kristin Tomlinson, the nutritionist, is to talk about healthier replacements. You will not only be helping me, but everybody watching, because I think it's pretty common. Many of us have sweet tooths, and many of us crave the greasy, salty, crunchy snack foods while we're watching TV at night.
If you're going to go for that stuff, and sometimes we just are, make sure that you are grabbing a serving of it, one serving, and putting it in a bowl, leave the bag in the cabinet, and then go sit down and eat it. You know, especially when it comes to popcorn or those crunchy, salty things, that it's really that hand to mouth motion. It's mindless. We're not even tasting it. That's the part we want to avoid. When it comes to triggered eating, that comes back to the rest of your day and eating in rhythm, so that that evening time, chemically, we talked about those hormones, isn't quite as triggering. I would suggest that we just try to switch out those snack foods for better snack foods that aren't going to have so much of a detrimental impact on our body. So it's not so much that snacking is a bad thing. It's just usually our choices could be a lot better and honestly more satisfying.
All right, time for a pen and paper. Let's write these down. What are some alternative suggestions for snacking?
If you like salty, crunchy, a simple swap would be a small handful of nuts. When you're looking to swap out a snack, you want to think in terms of kind of like protein and fat and nutrient dense, because there's volume and weight to it. And that weight also triggers the brain. Whereas by volume, potato chips, you have a massive amount to equal, honestly, the volume of a small handful of nuts. The nuts are going to give you nutrition, they're going to give you healthy fats, and they're incredibly satisfying.
For those of us with sweet tooths, what would you recommend?
Yeah, well, a piece of fruit could be a great way to go. You want to be careful with fruit. If you overeat it, sometimes it can trigger sugar cravings, but like an apple with peanut butter, or maybe some Greek yogurt with berries, cottage cheese with cinnamon, and maybe some peaches. They're nutrient dense and they're satisfying. And it sounds like a hard swap at first, but the key is those foods are going to register satisfaction in your body, and your cells have a job for them, right? They're going to use them for nutrients, repair, growth, all of these things, whereas chips essentially are going to do really nothing but gum up the works and create problems.
There are some easy substitutions we can make when it comes to all the pandemic baking that we're doing, right?
There's some great substitutions for baking. I mean, one of the simplest is swapping out some whole wheat flour for the white flour. Some of the alternative flours, like spelt, which is a much more nutrient dense flour, or experiment with some nut flours. We make some amazing almond flour chocolate chip cookies. Almond flour is incredibly satisfying. It's nutrient dense. And I find when I'm eating more of a almond flour chocolate chip cookie, one of them is like an experience. You're not triggered to eat 2, 3, 4, 5 more and make several more trips to the cookie jar. You almost can't do it because, again, the fat, the protein, the fiber, it all registers as satiety, and it tastes amazing.
That sounds amazing. Really good tips. Thanks for sharing them with us here on the Health and Healing Hangout.